community. This is Kelly Calabrese, and today I'm here with Dr. Larry Metheney from Phoenix. Thank you so much, Dr. Larry, for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
You have a vast amount of experience with racetrack horses and performance horses. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your practice.
Well, I started out as a racetrack practitioner right out of college and thought I'd be at the racetrack for a couple of years and get a little bit better background on horses and lameness, and thought I'd be there 2 years and then moved to a hospital setting. But it just didn't work out that way. And I was at the racetrack for 26 years. And after 26 years in the thoroughbred world, they have a tattoo under their lip. And so after 26 years, I saw every letter of every letter of the alphabet through that tattoo. And I thought it was a repeat show after that. And so I ventured off racetrack and started a performance horse lameness practice. And so I still do that today. And I still enjoy it. I'm getting old, but I still enjoy it. So I keep doing it.
Well, we all are getting old, and we're thankful that you're still out there with all your experience and wisdom, especially helping with lameness. There's always going to be demand for that. We know that. So tell us how you heard about Renovo.
Well, actually, one of my clients, her daughter was in junior rodeo with another person that was a salesperson for Renovo. And she said, "Hey, I've got this product. Can I bring it up to you and you put it in this horse's joint for me?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, let's do that." So we did. And that was my first introduction to Renovo. And then subsequently, I met Christian, and Christian, being the manufacturer and the scientific mind behind it, he was very impressive with his breadth of knowledge, his understanding of cellular mechanics and chemistry. And I just was really impressed with his quality control and he was driven more by having the best product than trying to make a dollar. And that just really impressed me. And so I've been using Renovo for about 2 years now. And so if you look at Renovo, and it is a collection of proteins that are growth factors collected from amniotic fluid and the placenta. And in the regenerative world, I think it's all starting to turn around to the growth factors are the key ingredient. And so with stem cell technology, we used to think we'd take those baby cells and we'd grow them up in the lab and put them in a petri dish, and about 50 million, bring them back, put that in the joint. And those undifferentiated cells, because we thought they would just grow up to mimic their neighborhood. So say we took those stem cells and put them in a tendon, we thought they'd grow up to be tendons. And a couple of years ago at the Human Regenerative Summit, the keynote speaker got up and said, "Stem cells don't work." Everybody kind of gasps, and they said, and then he continued with this dramatic pause, and he says, "Like we thought they did." And so he has discovered that the stem cells are full of growth factors. You put them in a tissue and they don't grow to mimic that tissue, but they die and release their growth factors. And so if it's all about the growth factors, if you talk about stem cell, PRP, IRAP, ProStride, all of those products deliver growth proteins in different ways. And if it's all about growth proteins, then Renovo has the most.
Wow, that's impressive. Thank you so much for explaining that in a way that anyone can understand it. That makes so much sense. Thank you. And so what are some examples that you've seen in the field that have really been impressive, made an impact?
Well, in my lameness practice, I have been using it. Everybody knows that stifles are hard to treat and hard to maintain. And once they go bad, they're a booger to take care of. And so I've been using it on traditional injection horses that have stopped responding to that injection and trying to bring those horses back. And I've had success with horses that I thought would not make it back and have made it back to competition. But one of my most interesting phases is kind of an experimental thing. And I talked to Christian into doing kind of a wild experiment. And I had a horse that was in my practice. It came from Germany as a 2-year-old with a small sarcoid on its right hind pastern. And through the years, everything has been tried on this horse to try to get that to resolve and heal, and nothing had. And we'd used cisplatin, we'd used muds, we'd used surgery, we froze it, we burned it, we put lots of cortisone on it, and it was just very, very resistant. And so I said, hey, Christian, let's try this and just see what happens. And so we did. I injected it twice, about a month apart. And that was about 2 years ago. And this sarcoid has not returned, and the horse has been free from it since. So I am really happy about that. And since then, I've used it on several other horses' sarcoids, and with amazing results. And so I think it's going to be a product that at some point in time, those sarcoids that are around the eye or in the ear where there's really no space and no tissue to really do surgery with to pull everything back in place, I think it's going to be a real benefit to a lot of those horses in the future. But we still have time. We still need to look at it, and we still need to, verify everything that I've seen. But my feeling is it's going to be a very beneficial product in that arena.
Wow, well, that is fabulous. That is obviously great news, and especially that it's not new, but it was an older one that had been around, for a while, tried to treat it with so many things. That gives a lot of hope.
Yes, it does. Yes.
That's great.
However, other places I use it in tendons and suspensory, and have very good luck with that. And I haven't used it in any eye issues yet, but I haven't had one to try it. But I think that's the next place I'd like to try the Renovo.
That's great. We actually have seen some incredible cases with eyes, so I'm excited to follow up with you in the future when you get
Perfect.
that opportunity. That'd be great. So Dr. Lowry, what would you say to some veterinarians who have not yet heard of or tried Renovo?
An old veterinarian once told me, he said, you don't have to be the first to try something, but you don't have to be the last one either. And so I think Renovo's been out long enough, and there's been enough veterinarians tried it that it has proven itself in the marketplace. And so those veterinarians that may be on the fence and a little bit hesitant, they just need to talk to some of us that have used it and have used it now with confidence. And I think that'll kind of sway them into have them explore the growth factor. The growth factor sequence of events, because I think that's where the secret really is with this product.
Wow, well, that makes so much sense. And, from your 2 years of personal experience using that and the research, that just speaks volumes. So we thank you so much for your time and your testimonial and information today, and look forward to following up with you sometime in the future.
Sounds great, Kelly. Thank you.
Thank you.